Such matters needs to be discussed or which I know of. Then Gratiano says, it must be because you are too much engaged in your business, in worldly affairs. That's what taking away your peace. Okay? And Antonio says, I do not hold the world too much seriously. Okay, I do not hold the world too much seriously. I hold the world as it is, as every man has come here to play his part. Okay, I'm also playing my part. But unfortunately, the role which I am playing is of a sad man. My role is to play the part of a sad man, a sad one. Gratiano says, if you will play the part of the sad man, let me play the happy fool. And I would want that I would laugh around, make people happy, and that's how I want to get old. I want wrinkles to come. And he says, I would rather overload my liver with wine than starve my heart by denying myself fun. He's saying, I would live my life in a very, very good manner, the way I want. Be joyful, enjoying, drinking, dancing, merrymaking. I will load my liver with wine rather than I would sit at one corner of the room and think of the heartbreak, think of the bad thing that has happened to me. I don't want to live a life like that. I want to live a life of fun. Then he goes on to say to Antonio, why should any man sit still like a statue? Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire cut in alabaster? He's saying, you are young, Antonio. Why you are a living person? Why are you sitting in one corner? Why are you so serious with life? As if you are looking like your grandfather's statue cut out of alabaster. Sleep when he wakes and creeps into jaundice by being peevish. He says, you should get jaundice by being so irritable and crabby all the time. Irritable means if people get irritated at very small things, people are not happy, all the time tense. Elizabethans in those days believed that people would get jaundice very easily. Those people who do not have peace of mind or who are not keeping happy. Yashani goes on to say, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Gratiano says, I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee. Gratiano says, Antonio, I love you. I have concern for you. You are my friend. I care about you. I tell you, Antonio, I love you. And it is my love that speaks. Here he says, it is out of love that I am speaking to you. There are a lot of men whose visages they cream and mantle like a standing wand. Now here he says, Antonio, there are men who always look serious. Visages, if you find the meaning of visages, it is appearance. Okay? Gratiano says, Antonio, there are some sort of people who appear to be very serious, just like the standing pond. The standing pond is covered with scum, as if mantle means as if it is covered with a cloth of foam and what? Soap. Okay, green. It is covered with a cloth of foam and green. So that's why he's saying people nowadays, some people, not nowadays, all the time, people, they try to look very, very serious. They pretend to be very, very serious, to always look serious, and to a willful stillness entertained. Willful stillness entertained means their faces do not have any kind of expression. They are very, very still. Just like the standing pond is still, the standing pond doesn't move, okay? Because there is no source of its movement. It is stagnant. Just like that some people face, they do not express any kind of opinions or expressions. They are very, very still. With purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit. And he says, these people whose faces they do not show any expression are like stagnant ponds covered with scum. They are silent and stern. I repeat, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom. Opinion of wisdom means these people they appear so serious as if anybody who looks at them would think, would have an opinion, oh, he is so wise. See, he's keeping quiet, does not have any kind of reaction in his face. He must be very knowledgeable, very wise. He looks serious. They are silent and stern. Okay, they are men of wisdom. Stern means their gravity. Profound conceit here means they think very, very deep. They are people who think very, very deeply. And they show to people as if they are important and respectable. If you look at such people, Antonio, you would also say that, oh, they are so important and so respectable. Just look at their face. It reflects so much without an expression. Then he says, as who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I open my lips, let no dog bark. And Gratiano says that these men, when they talk, they think everybody else should keep quiet. What they think that everybody should keep quiet when they would like to speak to the people. And they also expect that even dogs should stop barking while they are speaking. Why? Because these men, they have, they have made themselves like that, made them so serious and stern that they want people to give them respect. But actually, they're not respected. Antonio, he says, oh my Antonio, I do know of these, that therefore only a reputed wise, for saying nothing, but I'm very sure, if they should speak, would almost damn those ears. Now Antonio said in his eyes, I know a lot of men like these, Antonio. The only reason they are considered wise, the only reason they are considered wise is because they don't say anything. Okay? Why they are reputed wise? Why they are considered as people of wisdom? Why? Because they keep quiet, they don't say anything. Okay? But Gratiano says, I'm very much sure if they ever open their mouths, everyone would see what fool they are. But such people who would go up and speak, the moment they start speaking, people could identify are they really wise or they really making a fool of themselves. I will talk to you more about this, he says. Okay, he said till there, and then he says, I will tell you more of this another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait. And he says to Antonio, please do not look sad and gloomy every time. Do not become like a fish. Okay? Do not become like a fish who is always ready to catch the melancholy bait. Bait is what catch it is fish's uh, food. So he says, do not always be ready to be melancholy and sad. Do not pretend to be like that if you are not sad at all. Be sad when you are really sad, but you do not have any reasons to be sad. Cheer up. Cheer up means be happy. Don't go around looking so sad. That's my opinion, he says, but what do I know? I'm a fool with school. He says, that is what I have to say. But the school doesn't. This opinion. He says, that's all I have to say. There's nothing to say. What can a fool say? Okay, much. So he says, let us go, Lorenzo. We will meet you at the dinner. Am I very much clear to this whole paragraph of Russian? Yes or no? Say something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 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 sir.
Are you able to understand? Is there anything which you haven't understood? Because it's a very important speech of lecture. You have understood, right? Your book is also there in front of you for
Sir, can you please explain
explanation.
that
Yes.
I am Oracle one line?
See, I am article. Yeshua says there were some sort of people who pretend to be very, very serious and wise. How they pretend? By keeping quiet. And they want people to respect them. Okay? Such people, we also expect from other people that when I speak, let no dog bark. Let no dog means when I speak, nobody should speak. I am Sir Oracle means I am a man of great wisdom and knowledge. You should respect me. If you read your book, there is a reference to Sir Oracle. He is a man of great wisdom and knowledge. Okay? And Gratiano says there are such people who consider themselves as a man of profound wisdom, just like Sir Oracle. And they expect that when they start speaking, people should be quiet and that dogs should also not bark. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear? Yes. Any more queries you have regarding this paragraph?
Sir,
Then we will proceed.
sir, what is the meaning of mantle?
Mantle is actually, a cloth. Cloth, cloth you understand.
Yes, sir.
What? What is it?
Sir, the piece of cloth which a king keeps on at the back.
Yes, exactly. It is a loose, sleeveless garment. It is a loose, sleeveless garment worn over other clothes. Just
And
like the
cape.
king or the Batman or the Superman, they wear it. So here, mantle here refers to the dirt and the scum which lay on the surface of the pond. It's saying those ponds which are stagnant, which do not move, whose waters do not move, when you look at them, it seems as if somebody has put a mantle over overspreading the pond. It is all covered with a mantle of scum and dirt. Yes, continue. Any questions? Further questions?
So would you please explain, but fish not with this melancholy bait for this fool, this opinion, that line?
Okay. Now here he's saying to Gratiano, sorry, Antonio, he says, but fish not with this melancholy bait. Melancholy means what, Ishan? Ishan, are you there? You have to tell me first
Sir,
what is the
sad.
meaning of melancholy. Yes. Melancholy means sad. What is the meaning of bait? Ishan,
So
what
melancholy
is the
means
meaning
sad.
of bait? What
So
is the
bait
meaning
means
of
the
bait?
hook
Very good.
of
Melancholy means sad.
so bait means the hook,
Yes?
the hook by which one catches a fish of a fish rod.
Yes, yes, exactly. So here Gratiano is telling to Antonio, do not be sad and attract people attention by becoming a bait. Fishes are attracted towards the bait, yes or no? They think that as if it is a food, it is their food attached to the bait. So Gratiano is telling to Antonio, do not pretend, do not show to others that you are sad and melancholy. when you are actually not. Do not become like a fish, attracting your own death, attracting your own sadness. Is it understood? He has made a comparison here. Do not become like a fish, attracting your death, attracting the bait. And here Antonio is becoming what? He is becoming sad without any reason. Yes, anybody else?
Yes,
Sir,
I
but
can understand also.
For the school judging, how is this pronounced? It is pronounced as Gajin. Okay? It is pronounced as Gachun. And Gachun is actually, he is saying, I'm just a fool in this whole drama. You know, first he said no, that this is a, I
Sir,
would like to play the part. Yes,
sir, in book is written Gaunchal means small worthless fish that is easy to catch.
that is easy to catch.
Catch.
Yes, it is actually a pivot. You know, Gajin is actually means, in actual sense, it means uh, one particular point where everything is easy to attain, where everything is easy to get. Okay, in the book, what it is written, Raman, could you please read out again?
Small worthless fish that is easy to catch.
Yes. So Gashwani is saying that, Antonio, I am a small worthless fool. I'm like that fish who is worthless and who people could catch very easily. Now, why he said like that? Why he said like that? Why he considered himself as worthless fool? Yes, why would people think of him as a fool? Remember, he wants people to think him as a fool. Where Shanu wants people to think him, sorry, he wants people to think of him as fool because he loves to play that part of a fool. So he said, as for me, Antonio, if you are trying to become a fish, trying to become sad and you're pretending to be sad, you know, people would definitely hold of me. People, when they look at me, they will always tell me, I'm a worthless fellow. Okay? But I do not want people to think about you like this. You are not sad. You are a good person. So be happy. You do not have to be sad. You have to pretend that you are sad. You do not have to be a fish who would go to his own death and attract its own sadness towards it. Here it means I am a foolish gudgeon. I am a foolish fool fish. This is my opinion. Okay? So let's go, Lorenzo. We will meet you at dinner time. Is it clear? Is it clear? Any more queries? Then we will move further. Yes, shall I move further?
yes, sir.
Yes. Now Lorenzo says, well, we will leave you till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men who Gratiano never lets me speak. Lorenzo says that it's okay. We will see you at dinner time. I must be one of those silent so-called wise men Gratiano talking about. Because he never lets me get a word in. Lorenzo is making fun of Gratiano here. Lorenzo is saying, Lorenzo, you speak too much that you would not let me speak. Whenever you would speak, wherever you would go with me, okay, what happens? Gratiano is the only person who speaks and speaks and speaks. Endlessly he speaks. Okay? And Lorenzo is saying, when you start speaking, I hardly get a chance to say a word. Then Graciano says, well, keep me company but 2 years more. Thou shalt not know the sound of thy own tongue. You know, Graciano says, he's making fun of Lorenzo and he says, if you hang with me, hang around with me for 2 more years, you will forget the sound of your own voice. I would never let you speak. Okay, he's making fun of Gratiano. That yes, I do speak, but if you be with me in my company for 2 more years, no Lorenzo, I am very much sure you will forget that you do have a voice. Because whenever I will go, I will only speak. I will not give a chance to you. Antonio says goodbye. I will go a talker for this year. Go a talker for this year means after this talk of yours, I will start talking a lot. Antonio says that it's better that I should go. Otherwise, listening to all your talks, I would also become a talkative fellow. Yashua says, thanks, I feel, for silence is only commendable in a neat tongue tried. Judgeba says, thank you, Antonio. The only tongue that should be silent are ox's tongue on a dinner plate and those that belong to all maids. What do you mean by that? Could anybody explain? Gratiano says to Antonio, Antonio, the only tongues that should be silent are ox's tongues on a dinner plate and those that belong to old maids. There are two references given, ox's tongue and tongues that belong to old ladies. What do you mean by that?
Sir, they are not vendible.
Pardon?
Sir, they are not vendible.
Vengible. They are there, what you are saying. I'm not getting you. Now, Gratiano says only those things should be kept quiet. The first one is ox's tongue on a dinner plate. People, they used to, eat ox's meat. Okay? They used to, now also they usually, they eat ox's meat. So he says, oxes need all the time they are in action. All the time they move from here and there, here and there, the tongue, ox's tongue. So he said, if anything has to be kept silent, it has to be the ox's tongue on a dinner plate. On a dinner plate means the dinner plate means when the ox is prepared, and it's ready to be served. Then at the dinner table, it should be quiet because most of the time it's always blabber and speaks and mutes. And the other thing that should keep quiet are old ladies. Old ladies they gossip. They have the habit of gossip. So the tongue always moves. That's what I will say. One is old lady should be kept quiet, and the other is the honest tongue. So this is just for fun, as I said. It's nothing serious.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please be louder.
Loud. My God, I'm speaking at the top of my voice. There will be some network issues. Are you able to listen to me now? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's continue. So what happens here? Graciano and Lorenzo, they move out. Antonio says, is that anything now? Now this is the main part that we are coming to. Act 1, Scene 1 is an exposition. Exposition. Okay, exposition means we are introduced to the major characters of the play and we are introduced to one or two ideas that will make the play move forward. So we are in the first part, that is exposition, where the initial problem that will unfold later, that has been introduced. So here we are starting off with the main part. Let's read. Antonio says, is he right? Is he right means whatever Bassanio says, does he always speak right? Bassanio says, Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing, more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are two grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day before you find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search. So Bassanio explains to Antonio that Gratiano is a person who talks more nonsense than any other man in Venice. Okay? Nonsense. His point is always like a needle in a haystack. What is a haystack? What is a haystack? Das.
So
What is a
dry
haystack?
hair, dry hair.
Yes, dry hay. Dry hay if you keep it at one place, okay, and you happen to drop one needle or a pin in that haystack, would you be able to find it? Would you be able to find a pin which has been dropped in that haystack? Yes, you would, but it would take a lot of time. It might take all day for you to find that small pin which you have dropped in that haystack, in that hay bush. So Bassanio says, what Gratiano talks. Gratiano's talks are like hay bushes. Okay, if you happen to go and look for any meaning in those talks, you will not understand anything. You will not get anything out of it. It is just nonsense that he speaks. Okay? Is it understood? He says his point is always like a needle in a haystack. You look for it all day, and when you find it, you realize it wasn't worth the trouble. Okay? So he says Gratiano speaks nonsense. If you listen to his talks, you will think, but if you deeply think over his talk, you will understand that he hardly speaks anything sensible because he always speaks nonsense. So Gasani says, do not listen to Gratiano much. He is a person who speaks nonsense. Antonio says, well, you tell me now what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you do today promise to tell me of. Antonio says, so who is the girl, the one you said you were going to take a special trip for? You promised to tell me. Okay? Antonio says, tell me, you are going to meet this girl and you have to take a special trip for that. What is the matter? Okay? Now, from here we will not continue because here the complexity starts. It starts becoming difficult. It needs explanation. So we will do till here. Okay, if you have any queries to ask, please ask now. Or else we will just leave it for the day. Yes, any more queries you have?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please explain once more the line said by Gratiano.
Which line?
I prayed for silence is only commend, commendable in a neat's tongue dried.
See, Gratiano says to Antonio, when Antonio says to Gratiano, I should better leave, otherwise I will also become a talker like Gratiano. I should also talk all the time. I should, I will get influenced. Bad people, if
So
you
please
are
be
in a
loud.
bad company, it's more like, hello. If you are in a bad company, hello.
Yes,
Are you listening? Are you listening?
yes, sir.
If you are in a bad company, it is likely that you also acquire the bad habits. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, when Antonio says goodbye, I should leave because if I stay, I should also become like a person who talks all the time. So Gratiano gives an answer to Antonio, saying, why you should be silent, you should talk, Antonio. There are only two things that should be kept quiet. First is an ox's tongue. Ox, they always make noise. They always keep their mouth in motion. They always speak. Okay, make noises. So he says, whenever the ox, who should keep quiet? The ox. And when it should keep quiet? When it is there on the dinner table, when people are ready to eat it. If it starts talking then at the dinner table, then people will not eat. It will become a waste. Okay? He is just having fun in the way he can do. Next, he said, the other person who should be kept quiet is old women. Old women love to gossip. So he says they always do gossip, they never keep quiet. So Gratiano says that old ladies or old maids should be kept quiet. Not you, I tell you. You speak. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Ashwini. Your sir is here.
Thank you, sir.